Well, I wonder how long we'll last this time before my phone just shuts off. Ay, ay, ay. You'll have this. I like to say Murphy's my uncle. Murphy's Law. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. And usually at the worst time. Worst opportune time. That was Rhodey. Excuse me. She was just uncovering covers so she could climb under covers. You see Thomas at the other end of the bed. Of course, he's on top of covers. But Rhodey likes to go under covers. She's like her mother. Bella always wanted under a blanket. Hey, what are you doing? Sophie? Or Rhodey? What are you doing? Huh? That's my blanket. Are you fighting me for my blanket? Huh? Seriously? Seriously? You're fighting me for my blanket? Yeah. The haunted Halloween trick or treat. What will it be? It'll be a cat, but not on a hot tin roof. It'll be a dog, but it's not raining cats and dogs. Symbology. That's what you do have to look for, though. And if you pay attention, your animals will tell you even more if you allow them to. Found a woolly bear. Found a couple of woolly bears. So both of the woolly bears had a smaller black head, but more brown in the body with a little bit of black tip on their tails. So if folklore has it, it shouldn't be too bad of a winter where we live, which would be nice because of the crisis manufactured or planned or predicted or Murphy's Law. Something can go wrong, it will go wrong, and usually at the most misopportune time. So when you're looking at it as such, Shouldn't you be prepared? And what are you preparing for? This is, after all, a Halloween trick-or-treat. And that is Sophie. Come on, Sophie. You might as well join the crowd. Oh, down. Now you know better than to hop on top of somebody, because somebody will holler at you. Yeah. Yep. What was I saying? That was Carmela voicing her opinion in where Sophie was laying her head or her body. Which was on top of Carmela. So anyhow, let's see, where were we? Halloween. Trick or treat. October 30th, 2022. 'Twas a night. A Halloween night. It wasn't a full moon, or the blue full moon, or even a lunar eclipse, but it was just passed by a new moon, a solar eclipse in Scorpio. Ooh, ooh, ooh. What new things do we have? What new information do we have coming out about the dark side of things? It really will be interesting to learn, because I know when we practice to deceive, what a tangled web we weave. I'm wondering if the mystery person from the DUI that was seen leaving Mr. Pelosi's vehicle is the same indeed who was at the scene indeed. And if there isn't a little more behind the scene indeed. Oh yeah, we are as sick as our secrets. And the solar eclipse in Scorpio. Oh, I bet there's some hidden stuff in there that's going to be coming out. Some hidden juju, some hidden karma. It reminds me of a woman in Hummelstown who was a holier than thou, had her nose up in the air, who thought that she was, but it was only until her husband was caught fondling himself in the front window when people would walk by. So, Mrs., what's your husband doing? Oh, while the cat's away, the mice do play, or I don't know, could that have been a young stud? What's a hammer? Isn't it usually whips? I don't know. What would they be role-playing with hammers? I don't know. I guess we'll find out, won't we? Maybe. Maybe we'll learn. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll never know. Kind of like the Kennedy cover-up that we know, and they know we know, but they think they've covered up enough of their tracks, so we don't need to know, other than we know, and they know we know. And I guess that'll have to be all we know, that we need to know we know right now. On a Halloween night, on a trick-or-treat, when that means the Halloween candy will be on sale. Will that be tomorrow? Or will it be the next day? The sound of silence. Can you handle the sound of silence? Or do you bounce off the walls? Do the walls come crashing in on you? Is that why you bounce off walls? Or can you sit alone, comfortable, wherever you are, and just sit and meditate? And as we say, pray to a being, pray to honor a being, the I am that I am, that does not have a name, a title, other than the God of good, orderly direction. Can you stand listening to silence, your own silence in a room with a view, in a room without a view, in a room where there's nothing, or in a room where there are priceless treasures sitting on a shelf, possibly on the walls. What is the treasure that is there, that surrounds, but it's still the silence that is deafening, that makes you want to bounce off of the walls, because you're alone with you and the sound of silence makes you blue. Hey Drip, good to see you. The longest fast I've done is 21 days. Whoa. That would be really interesting to fast that long. Brother Christopher in Asheville, I don't quite remember what his longest fast was, but he would go extensively. No, I've never fasted for let me see. You know, now that you mention it, the most recent, more than like a day or two, it would have been probable that I most likely had a withdrawal from. That was after my son had passed away, and I had not really grieved over the loss until my car broke down, and it was in a friend's driveway, and that was like right before the COVID lockdown. And I was like, no, it's not COVID. No, we live in, Asheville, Bodunk, middle of, might have been, probably was. Felt like crap. But was it that? Or was it just trying to survive what I just survived in the loss of a son? So I guess it might have been close to 5 days, maybe a week, and around in there that, starve the cold, feed the fever. But, I haven't done it to the extent of a lot of that spiritual. Did you do it for the spiritual? And what was the awakening that you received to, okay, let's go back to, was it to purify mind, body, soul? Or what was the experience of having fasted? What made you, would you, and what did you learn from it? Is it something that you would do more often, or is it more of a sacred type of that you have found? Sorry for your lost. Yes. It was for all of those reasons. Okay. Well, what did you learn the most? I fast regularly. Oh, way cool. I've been hearing that. I've been hearing that lately. Let me see. I do listen to a lot of seminars and a lot of research and all types of information. If something is brought to me, there's a good chance that if it's of mental value, that yeah, I'll indulge in the time consumption. And let me see, fasting. I put my camera up, and I guess I didn't need it up quite as far, so I could read it. Fasting opens the mind and senses even more. It's good for the mind, body, and soul. Yeah, I can believe that. I can, because of the letdown, the stopping of when you're fasting. Do you also drink a water? Do you drink a purified water with crystals, sound, etc. prior to? Let me see. Alrighty, Thomas. Go. And there you see Thomas. Okay, so my body and soul usually fast 3 days a week. Wow, really? So when you're fasting, is it I don't like I said, I listened to a lot of different, and I was listening to fasting, and then I was also listening and for a little bit doing the juice fasting, where I didn't do any food except for juice. Now, the 100% juice, my friend Holly's like, oh, it still has sugar in it. But, I don't know. You tell me. Water or juice is cool. Or, yes, I drink water and pink Himalayan salt. Ah, so I've heard about the salt also. Trying to think. It was recently, the producer, let me see, lives in Miami. I don't quite remember. I would have to look on my emails to find out the exact, because I know that there's a couple of them who have different health seminars, and who have interviewed different doctors of such. So let me see. I think the one I'm talking about was curing cancer. And they were talking about the fasting with the to cure, and the purification of. So yeah, that I can see that 3 days a week. Yeah, and the pink sea salt was a big part of a couple of those who had suggesting the fasting for health. The juice fasting isn't really fasting because your body still processes the juice as food. Okay, so it would be pretty much the water and pink Himalayan salt. That would be, would it be a maintenance of, what is the 8-ounce glass? How many? A quart a day? Or, for the fast? Would it be just enough, or how would that be? What would someone who is listening, who's considering fasting, what would, what and why? I've heard the salt is important. And I think with the pink Himalayan, what were they just saying about the iodized salt? Do you do iodine? And is that one of the essentials? Because I know that we need essential salts. I was listening to Mr. Astrotheology, and he has some interesting YouTube videos that are out there where he talks about the essential salts and our bodies need. Just drink as you need to. Yes, the drops are better. I had just, there's a health food store who has a wide variety assortment that I find there that I have not found in multiple others. A multitude throughout the United States of health food stores do not have what she has. And looking in the larger stores, I could not find iodine, whether it was in tablet or whether it's, liquid for oral, or, like the liquid we used to put on wounds. And I went in there, and she has a good assortment. And it's, let me see, I've been living fasting for about 4.5 years now. Wow. So what do you do with protein? And yes, I just found, and hopefully people can go and find at their local health food store before they're shut down and criminalized too. I had gotten some colloidal at a Amish store, and definitely at least a quarter of the price as in others, which is even cheaper than others. Let's see. About yeah, because I do feel drawn more so in that direction of the health. Well, I think that we as a collective society see that also. Now, there again, um, I'm like, well, I do like a good barbecue. And I am aware of the factory meats. And I have become more, I guess it would be the gratitude for, but I very rarely eat out at a fast food restaurant anymore. Let's see, mainly live on meat and fish, pretty much. So protein. Ah, gotcha. I used to go fishing when I was a kid with white bread and a fish hook. And I ate a lot of white bread, and I did not realize what white bread can really do, or I should say white flour and sugar, and yeah, I've eaten my share and still like a little bit too much, but I'm trying to do much better. It has to be worth the calories if I'm gonna gain a few pounds and eat a piece of chocolate cake or, whatever. It has to be, it has to be worth the calories. But, chicken, that's a usual, more so than, now I did make a ground beef and chili type of that went on top of, nachos with, um, avocado and mango salsa and yeah, sour cream. And it was good. And yeah, I could say that if there was a famine, I wouldn't die tomorrow. Yeah. If I got sick, I would not. I still have excess that my body would survive. And it's like fish. To catch fish, I love to catch fish. And I like to feel down that line. And I like to catfish. I like to catch fish. I like to eat fresh fish caught over a grill in butter. That's like delicacy. They say about farm raised fish are similar too. And then you look at the wild caught and the waters that they are wild caught in. So Like, I think it's a local thing. I guess if we eat and capitalize on the our local environment and what food we have to survive on, I think that's a big part of it. Stay lean and healthy all the time. Not easily. Well, I'm gonna have to try what you're talking about with the pink Himalayan, because that is something that I have to admit. I mean, I've done the water, and I really don't do diets. That dye is in there, forget it. It's kind of like quitting smoking. There again, that's another one. It's the progress. I don't smoke as much as, and it's always a good barter. So, um, you know, I've never tried just the water with pink sea salt, and I think that that's something I will have to do. Like I said, I'm staying with friends, and right now their water is like, whoa, that's a lot of chlorine. I mean, coming out of the tap. Yeah, they have in the refrigerator water filtration, but just the chlorine, just the knock you over scented chlorine. Now, unless they changed it again, they do not have fluoride in their water, so that's a good thing. But the chlorine, that's not good. Now stay lean, exactly. Don't do diets either. Yeah. So anyhow, it's going back to the um you know okay, meat and fish, but it's like where and what kind of fish. Is it a freshwater? Well, no, I guess where if you are one of the islands, then that would be more of a salt water, and therefore wouldn't you get enough of iodine in that type of um, locale, in your locale? Wouldn't you get enough of iodine in the fish there? Or would that be not good because of Fukushima and mercury getting into the fish? That's kind of like my concern of too much mercury and the poisoning. I guess, like with your canned tuna and whatever, you have too much, you get too much mercury, and it's like, okay, well, what do you do? What's the best way to eat both saltwater and freshwater fish? Yeah, but is it like do you buy it from your local fisherman? Do you buy it farmers market type of? Do you buy it supermarket? And how do people know that they're getting a half decent? I know that you get fish that smells like fish. It's old fish. At least that's what I have heard. And it's kind of like with meat. But then I'm also recently learning about the FDA's processing requirements for meat, and that they have to be bleached. It's like, you know anything about that too? That meat, USDA stamped means it was bleached in the processing of it. And it's like, ooh. That's exactly the reason why I vary my fish sources and most meat sorts. Yeah. Yeah, because of too much of one and where is community. And I look forward to maybe one of these days settling down somewhere, and until then I just do not worry that I'm sure I will be provided for as I go, where I go. I usually have probably at least a month self-contained with me at all times. Fishing and hunting. That's amen to that one. Meat and fish. I like the fishing, the hunting. That's a whole nother story. And I got buck fever once, and no thank you. I can't do it. I came from a family of great white hunters. My brother, he got 4 bears, and I don't know how many trophy racks of deer, and, as well as my father, and trophy fish that they have their trophies for, and even my daughter has gotten into, and it's not just for the trophy, but also for meat. And I know that if meat is cooked well, then deer, even bear, can be very good. But I love to go fishing, but I can't. I cannot look at those eyes and pull a trigger ever again. And then when I just put poor Bella May to sleep, to make that decision. Oh God, that was horrible. And she still died with a smile on her face, and it was horrible. So, yeah. I honor those who can bravely take and process a living and give thanks for our living. So yeah, the one of the TED Talks I was listening to earlier and had talked about gratitude. That just making a gratitude. Was that today, or was that also Greg Braden had also said something of such about gratitude recently that I had heard. Yeah, I mean fishing. Like I said, I've been fishing since I've been a little girl with a safety pin and a string, and going back in a creek in those little minnows, and yeah, weren't very big, but I still enjoyed catching them, and still enjoy catching them. Only I prefer the larger trout or bass, or and then cooked over a fire and butter. Yeah, I think that's like part of good camping. weather. That's why. That's. I'm reading at an angle, so that's I was taught and taught to honor the gift that that animal has given by using everything that I can in every way. Yeah. Yep. I agree. And I know that one time my brother was like really mad at me because yeah, I mean, I was a year and a half older and I had art class and I had to make and his deer antler made a really good beak for this bird that I was making, bird on wire and, used a pillbox hat with all these pretty blue feathers and turned it into a bird. And oh, yeah, my brother wasn't happy that I had used his deer antler. But, yeah, I wish I still had that because it was really cool. And yeah, when it comes down, and we look at now at grocery stores, and I mean, yeah, there are some butchers in grocery stores, and how many children are, hey, look, that's the man that cuts up the cow. That's where your hamburger comes from. I mean, we really don't televise that to our children, but we'll go by and, hey, here's the bakery, here's a cookie. Yeah, it's interesting how that goes. That's hard to give. Yeah, I'm enjoying. And even though it's been one of those, I mean, I had wanted to go, like I said, live for 5 days, and today is, I think, 4. And the first 3, trying to even get an hour, 2 hours, I don't even think. It was just challenge after challenge. So it was interesting that it actually went halfway smooth. And, Murphy's my uncle. And Mars, let me see. Did Mars go retrograde? Mars is in Gemini. I'd have to look. I don't remember exact date, but that could have been why. Or is it today? It would still be coming up to, and that'd have been why problems, because Mars in Gemini is square my Pisces sun. So that could also be part of it. Most definitely. So yeah, it's a Halloween trick or treat special. Predictions and prophecy and premonitions and saying, hey, I really hope that our children and grandchildren will learn and we will be able to teach them our traditions, our good traditions and our values of honoring our Mother Earth and also um, others that are on it. You know, at least that's what I hope and pray for. I'm not quite sure about the crazies in office and the total lunacy of people. Although, you know, with Neptune and Pisces, you got a lot of mental illness, and that's really big time, 100%. Yeah. So planetarily, I mean, how do you choose to see it? You know. Oh, hang on. I gotta get me a drink. Ooh, it's been a while since I have talked this much. So my throat is a little bit dry. Oh, who is that? One of the dogs under covers. And I guess, can you see Thomas down there? He's down there in that dark spot. Well, I mean, he is gray. And he's all curled up down there, so you really can't see him too much anymore. But, alright. We go back. Nothing like having someone in my bedroom. Not that this is the first time I've had someone in my bedroom in a long time. Or as close to having someone in my bedroom for a long time. Oh, except my animals. And then my animals accept me, and that's all good. As long as animals and children love you, you know you're on the right path. And that's all that it matters. And, yeah, it's like where, but then they say that we'll know where to go. And, that we will be protected. So I find it very interesting. And they also talk about the inner earth. And I already know the sprites and the fairies and and Sasquatch and otherworldly mythological of human and God created, and also you know, when and listening to prophecy, and it's like, okay, well, who, where, and how many of the underground shelters do have the government built. It was interesting because I went by Cheyenne Mountain, and I guess I should say Cheyenne Mountain more than once. Oh, that was interesting. I'm gonna have to go back and go back over on Google Maps, or not Google, well, yeah, I guess if I do it, it'd be Google Maps, and to see where, with Cheyenne Mountain, and there's quite a lot of other underground military bases, and, when you really look at it, and you go back through, and they talk about the past, and this being, what is it, the fourth or the fifth life, and the destructions of lives prior to, and the knowledge, and you look at what man is doing and what man is capable of doing to other humans and helpless, defenseless humans, not even counting animals, and you wonder how a society can get so sick and demented and so far away from a loving spirit that we are when we are born upon Mother Earth. And where does this evil come in at? And if Neptune in Pisces is an indication of mental illness, are we also looking at that as in the children being born today are more susceptible to mental illness? And is that a reason for, or an excuse of, the sexes wanting to be different than, or can it be contributed to the effects of pesticides in foods, pesticides in yards? Or could it be related to, and I can't mention that big word letter, but I keep looking at, and the correlation of, and the growth of, and if we look at, how can you not see a correlation? And you have to be real careful in saying that, and that's why I really want to write a lawsuit and get it heard in the courts, so it's, yeah, okay, it is a law on the book, it's our First Amendment, and it's being taken away. And it's like, oh, well, it's not being taken away. You have your own platform. Really? Where? And that one gets sold and then you have to jump to another platform, and then another platform, and another platform, and people who want to hear what you say have to, where are they at now? And that's what I had to do with Amazing Polly. And not just Amazing Polly. I don't know if you've ever heard of AmazingPolly.net. Amazing Polly is an investigative journalist and based out of Canada. And I got turned on to her somewhere around that big shutdown, when all we really had time to do was research what's going on out there. And I found her information to be very well done. And she's someone who I highly admire the work that she does. And there's quite a few other ones out there that their investigative skills are really, really amazing. No, you haven't heard from Amazing Polly? Yeah, go and check out her work. She'll let you know who's who and what's what and all that kind of good stuff. And I don't know if you listen to Del Bigtree on the Highwire, thehighwire.com, and you can go backslash forward slash whatever slash watch. I think it's backslash watch, and it'll pull up his shows. But go to thehighwire.com, and they have amazing. It's a long one. Sometimes 2.5, 3 hours. His live shows every Thursday, starts at 2 o'clock at thehighwire.com, and I get an alert, and I listen to it, watch it pretty much every week. Try to, anyhow. I'm still trying to, which reminds me, part 2 was supposed to be on the Highwire, and that was Alex Jones part 2. I had watched part 1, and I found it very interesting, and I was looking forward to watching part 2. I'm not quite sure what happened. I'm not quite sure. It might even be up there, and I just missed it or whatever. Don't know, but he has quite a lot of very good information. And Thursdays, this past Thursday, he had 2 women on. I mean, besides other guests, he had 2 women on, and they talk about their experiences that they had concerning their husbands and their treatment of, during, and issues regarding it. Hey, I will talk to you soon. I don't mind calling it early myself. I've enjoyed the conversation. Yeah. I'll be out, like I said, hanging out again. Halloween weekend. One more night tomorrow, and it's another one of those trick or treat. Who knows who's coming? And I already did all of the signs. I just have to relabel them. So I look forward to catching up again, Drep. I really do. Um, I really do. And I don't know if you're the one that says that we're on here, but I've been on another hour again, and that way my phone will be working, and I can um, make sure that I have most of the bed. So it was good hanging out with you, and I will talk to you later, and hope y'all enjoy Halloween trick or treat. See you, love you. Bye. 3, 2, 1.